You were taught to respect her, compliment her, show her you care, and every single piece of that advice is why she's bored of you, why she's texting him instead, why you're alone wondering what went wrong. This is not your fault. You were given a script written by people who either did not understand attraction or who actively wanted you to fail. Your mother told you to be nice. Your teachers told you to be respectful. Society told you that if you just showed a woman how much you cared, she would care back. They were wrong, not partially wrong, not slightly misguided, catastrophically, devastatingly, completely wrong. Machiavelli understood something 5 centuries ago, that 99% of men will die never learning. Attraction does not follow the rules of fairness. Desire does not reward good behavior. A woman's obsession is not earned through devotion. It is triggered through mechanisms that operate beneath her conscious awareness, and often against her stated preferences. Today, you will learn what those mechanisms are. Not so you can manipulate, not so you can deceive, but so you can finally stop sabotaging yourself with strategies that were designed to fail, so you can become the kind of man women actually want, rather than the kind of man they say they want. There is a difference, and that difference is why you are here. Let us begin with the lie you were told about women. From the moment you were old enough to notice girls, you received programming. Be nice to her, compliment her, show her you are interested, make your intentions clear, be honest about your feelings, put her needs first, make her feel special. This programming came from everywhere. Movies showed the devoted man winning the woman through persistence and emotional availability. Songs celebrated the man who loved harder, gave more, sacrificed everything. Your mother wanted to protect you from becoming the kind of man who hurt her, so she taught you to be the opposite of that man. But here is what no one told you. The opposite of the man who hurts women is not the man women want. He is the man women settle for after the men they actually wanted are no longer available. This is not cynicism. This is observation. Watch what women respond to rather than what they say they want. Watch where their attention goes, who they light up around, who they think about when they are alone. It is rarely the man who followed the script. It is almost never the man who is always available, always agreeable, always putting her first. Machiavelli wrote that men judge by appearances, and that what appears to be is often more powerful than what actually is. Applied to attraction, this means the man who appears to have options is more attractive than the devoted man who clearly has none. The man who appears slightly out of reach triggers more desire than the man who is fully available. The man who might leave is more captivating than the man who definitely will not. You were taught that showing your cards was honest and good. Machiavelli would tell you that showing your cards is how you lose the game. Not because you should lie about your feelings, but because revealing everything removes the mystery that sustains desire. A woman cannot long for what she already possesses completely. She cannot crave certainty. The unknown is where obsession lives. Now, let us examine what actually triggers obsession in women. The psychological principle is called intermittent reinforcement, and it is the most powerful driver of addictive behavior ever identified. Slot machines use it. Social media notifications use it. And whether consciously or not, every man who has ever made a woman obsessed has used it too. Intermittent reinforcement means unpredictable rewards. Sometimes you win, sometimes you do not, and you never know which it will be. This uncertainty creates a neurological response, more powerful than consistent rewards. The brain becomes fixated on solving the pattern, predicting the next outcome, securing the uncertain reward. When you are completely consistent, always available, always warm, always responsive, you remove the uncertainty. You become a vending machine. Insert kindness, receive affection. There is no mystery, no challenge, no addiction. She knows exactly what she will get from you, which means she has no reason to think about you when you are not there. But when your warmth is unpredictable, present sometimes, withdrawn others, intense on certain days, and distracted on others, her mind begins working overtime. Why was he distant yesterday? Did I do something wrong? When will I see that intensity again? How do I get more of his attention? This is not about playing games. This is about having a genuine life that does not revolve around her. When you have purpose, ambition, demands on your attention that have nothing to do with her, your availability naturally fluctuates. You are not manufacturing distance, you are genuinely engaged elsewhere. And this genuine engagement is precisely what makes your presence valuable when you offer it. Machiavelli's principle applies here with brutal clarity. That which is rare is valued, and that which is abundant is taken for granted. Make yourself abundant and you will be taken for granted. Maintain genuine scarcity through a full life, and she will value every moment of access she receives. Understand this deeply. Never be fully conquered. Robert Greene writes extensively about this in The Art of Seduction. The moment someone completely possesses you, desire begins to die. The chase is over. The mystery is solved. The tension that created attraction dissipates like air from a punctured balloon. This does not mean withholding love or being emotionally unavailable in a destructive sense. It means maintaining a core self that is never fully surrendered. A part of you that remains yours, your purpose, your direction, your inner world that she can visit but never own. The man who loses himself in a woman loses her attraction simultaneously. He has nothing left to offer because he has given everything away. There is no one left to desire because the self has dissolved into the relationship. Paradoxically, total devotion destroys what it seeks to preserve. The men women become obsessed with maintain sovereignty over themselves. They love without losing themselves. They give without depleting. They are present without being possessed. This balance, intimate yet independent, connected yet complete, is what sustains desire over months and years rather than weeks. You must understand the dark psychology of female desire. Women do not want safety. They say they want safety. They believe they want safety. But watch their responses and you will see a different truth. Safety is where attraction goes to die. Comfort is the enemy of desire. The man who makes her feel completely secure has removed the very tension that creates passion. This is not a flaw in women. It is biology, intersecting with psychology. For most of human history, the safe man was not the strong man. The predictable man was not the leader. The man who could be easily controlled was not the man whose genetics would produce powerful offspring. Female desire evolved to seek signs of strength, status, and the capacity for danger, not because women want to be harmed, but because these traits signaled survival value. In the modern world, physical danger is less relevant, but the psychological patterns remain. She is attracted to the man who could hurt her, but chooses not to. The man who has options, but selects her. The man who could leave, but stays for now. The uncertainty is the attraction. Remove it, and you remove the charge. Dostoevsky understood this paradox. He wrote about how humans actively sabotage their own happiness, because happiness without tension becomes unbearable. We need struggle, uncertainty, the possibility of loss to feel fully alive. A woman in a relationship without any tension, without any fear of loss, without any uncertainty about her man's continued presence, often creates drama simply to feel something again. Better that the tension comes from his attractive uncertainty than from manufactured conflict. Better that she wonders about his thoughts than wonders why she feels nothing at all. Now learn how to create emotional addiction. The principle of investment is crucial here. Whoever invests more in a relationship holds less power. This is not about keeping score in a petty sense, but understanding a fundamental dynamic that governs all human exchange. When you pursue heavily, initiate constantly, express your feelings repeatedly, and make your interest unmistakably clear, You have invested vastly more than she has. This investment imbalance triggers a psychological response in her, not gratitude, as you might expect, but reduced attraction. She has not had to work for your attention. She has not invested enough to value the outcome. Reverse this dynamic. Create situations where she invests her time, her effort, her emotional energy, her pursuit. Every investment she makes increases her psychological commitment to the outcome. She begins to rationalize her own behavior. I must really like him, because look how much I have done to see him. The investment creates the feeling, rather than the other way around. This is why playing slightly hard to get works when done correctly. Not through manipulation, but through genuine standards. You do not accept every invitation. You do not respond instantly, every time. You have requirements for your time and attention that she must meet. Her meeting these requirements is an investment, and each investment deepens her attachment. Let me explain why she chose him over you. You have watched it happen. The woman you treated well leaves for someone who seems to treat her worse. The devoted boyfriend is abandoned for the man who barely seems to care. You conclude that women want to be mistreated, that nice guys truly finish last. But you misread the situation. She did not leave because he treats her worse. She left because he triggers feelings you do not. His apparent indifference is actually outcome independence. He will be fine whether she stays or goes, and this freedom is magnetic. His lesser availability is actually a full life that does not center on her, and this independence is attractive. His failure to put her on a pedestal is actually seeing her as an equal rather than an idol, and this perspective creates room for genuine connection. You pedestalized her. He saw her as human. You needed her. He wanted her, but did not require her. You abandoned your life to orbit around her. He maintained his trajectory and invited her to join. The difference looks like he cares less, but actually he simply cares correctly. Machiavelli would recognize this immediately. The prince who appears needy invites contempt. The prince who appears self-sufficient commands respect. The dynamic is identical in attraction. Your need is not flattering to her, it is a burden. Your independence is not cold, it is attractive. Every woman tests every man. This is not optional. Before a woman opens herself emotionally, psychologically, physically, she needs to know who you are beneath the surface. Are you as confident as you appear? Will you collapse under pressure? Can you handle challenge without becoming defensive or aggressive? Are you the real thing or an act? She finds out through tests. She challenges you to see how you respond. She creates small conflicts to measure your reaction. She tests your boundaries to see if you have any. She withdraws attention to see if you panic. She throws curveballs to see if you can adapt. 99% of men fail these tests. They get defensive when challenged. They over-explain when questioned. They chase harder when she withdraws. They apologize for things that need no apology. They show that beneath the surface, there is anxiety, neediness, and an unstable foundation. The man who passes maintains composure. He does not take the bait. He might even be slightly amused by the test because he recognizes it for what it is. He does not need to prove himself because he is already certain of his own value. His frame does not bend under pressure. If anything, pressure reveals his strength. When you pass her tests, something shifts in how she sees you. You have been verified. You are solid. You can be trusted with her vulnerability because you have demonstrated that you can handle challenge without crumbling. This trust, earned through past tests, is the foundation of genuine obsession. Now I must speak about what happens behind closed doors. This will be handled carefully but honestly because it matters more than most men understand. The physical dimension of attraction cannot be separated from the psychological. How a man shows up in intimate contexts either confirms or destroys the image he has projected elsewhere. Many men who understand psychological attraction fail completely in physical intimacy and undo everything they built. The principle is the same as everywhere else: presence, dominance, and tension. Presence means being fully there, not in your head, not anxious about performance, not somewhere else mentally while physically present. Women feel the difference between a man who is completely present with them and a man who is going through motions while thinking about something else. Presence itself is attractive. Presence makes her feel like the only woman in the world in that moment. A man who is present notices everything: her breathing, her responses, the small signals she sends. He adjusts to her rather than following a script. He is attuned to the moment rather than racing toward an outcome. This presence cannot be faked. It requires the internal work of learning to quiet the anxious mind, to release self-consciousness, to be fully in your body rather than trapped in your thoughts. Dominance does not mean aggression or disrespect. It means polarity. It means you lead and she follows. It means you are comfortable taking control rather than asking permission for every small move. It means the masculine-feminine dynamic that creates spark rather than the negotiations of two uncertain equals. Most women crave being led by a man they trust. The trust is built outside the bedroom, but the leading happens inside it. The man who hesitates, who constantly asks if this is okay, who waits for explicit instruction for every move, he communicates uncertainty. And uncertainty in this context kills the very thing he is trying to create. Compare this to the man who moves with calm authority, who leads without apology, who creates an experience rather than negotiating a transaction. The difference is not about consent. Both can be fully consensual, but about energy. One energy attracts, the other repels. Tension means not rushing. The space between intention and action is where desire builds. Anticipation is often more powerful than the event itself. The man who creates tension through unhurried confidence, through delayed gratification, through making her wait and want, creates experiences she cannot forget. The man who rushes communicates anxiety. The man who takes his time communicates that he has all the time in the world because he does. Consider the principle of anticipation more deeply. When you know what is coming, excitement fades. When you do not know when or how something will happen, your mind fixates on it. The master of tension understands this. He builds toward moments without arriving too quickly. He creates expectation without immediate satisfaction. This is not manipulation, it is artistry. It is understanding that the journey matters as much as the destination. This dimension is where many relationships are won or lost. You can do everything right psychologically and still lose her if the physical dimension disappoints. Conversely, mastery here can compensate for mistakes elsewhere. It is too important to ignore, even if society prefers not to discuss it. The man she cannot stop thinking about is often the man who created an experience she cannot replicate with anyone else. Not through technique alone, but through the combination of presence, polarity, and tension that turns physical intimacy into something unforgettable. This is earned through internal development, not learned through instruction manuals. Learn the power of strategic withdrawal. The most powerful move in any negotiation is the ability to walk away. The party who can leave holds leverage over the party who cannot. In attraction, this principle operates constantly beneath the surface. When she senses that you could leave not through threat but through genuine independence, her valuation of you increases. When she knows you are trapped, that you have no options, that you need her more than she needs you, her attraction decreases regardless of how well you treat her. Strategic withdrawal means being willing to create distance when necessary, not as punishment but as natural consequence. When her behavior becomes unacceptable, you do not argue, complain, or beg for change. You simply become less available. Your attention goes elsewhere. Your warmth reduces. This is not manipulation. It is having standards and enforcing them through action rather than words. The man who can withdraw has power. The man who clings has none, and she can always tell the difference, even when you think you are hiding it. Silence is a weapon when used correctly. In an age of constant communication, the man who does not immediately respond to every message stands out. His silence communicates that he has a life beyond his phone, that her message is not the most important thing in his world, that she will have to wait for his attention like everyone else. This is not about playing games with response times. It is about genuinely having other priorities. When you are building a business, pursuing a mission, engaged in meaningful work, you cannot respond immediately to every message. This natural unavailability signals high value far more effectively than any words could. The man who is always available communicates that nothing else is happening in his life. The man who is sometimes unavailable communicates that many things compete for his attention, and she is one of many priorities, not the only one. Finally, understand what it means to become the man she cannot escape. Everything discussed so far has been about behavior and psychology, but beneath behavior lies identity. You can mimic the patterns of attractive men without being one, and eventually, the mask slips. Sustainable attraction requires actually becoming the man who naturally exhibits these traits, not performing them. This means building a life of genuine purpose, a mission that matters to you independent of any woman's validation, work that absorbs you, goals that challenge you, growth that continues regardless of your relationship status. The man with a burning purpose does not have time to obsess over any single woman. His attention is earned, not freely given. This means developing genuine abundance, not as a trick, but as a reality. When you have options, when other women show interest, when your social life is rich, when you could find companionship elsewhere, you do not cling to any single woman out of scarcity. This abundance mentality shows in everything you do, every interaction you have. It cannot be faked for long. This means cultivating outcome independence. Whatever happens with her, you will be fine. Your happiness does not depend on her choice. Your self-worth does not fluctuate with her interest. You want her, perhaps, but you do not need her. This independence is felt, not just stated, and it is deeply attractive. The goal is not to manipulate women into obsession. The goal is to become genuinely attractive by embodying the traits that trigger attraction. When you have purpose, presence, and power, when you maintain your frame, pass her tests, and create tension through confident patience, obsession becomes a natural byproduct rather than a manufactured outcome. You do not chase. You become someone worth chasing. You do not convince her. You become someone she convinces herself to pursue. You do not haunt her through manipulation. You haunt her through being unforgettable. Machiavelli understood that power is not taken through force alone. It is granted by those who perceive you as powerful. The same applies to attraction. Her obsession is not extracted from her. It is freely given to the man who has become worthy of it. You have now received knowledge that 99% of men will never possess, not because it is hidden, but because they refuse to see it. They prefer the comfortable lie that women want nice men over the uncomfortable truth that women want powerful men who are also good. There is nothing stopping you from being both, powerful and kind, confident and genuine, attractive and ethical. These are not contradictions. They are the combination that creates genuine, lasting obsession. If this knowledge has changed something in you, subscribe to this channel. The algorithms reward those who subscribe, which means more men like you will find these truths before they waste years following scripts designed for failure. Here is your practical application. This week, examine your behavior with women through the lens of what you have learned. Where are you too available? Where do you invest more than she does? Where do you fail her tests by seeking approval? Where do you kill tension by being too certain, too safe, too predictable? You do not need to transform overnight. Awareness precedes change. See the patterns first. The adjustment follows naturally. Remember, she does not want the man who needs her. She wants the man who chooses her from a position of strength. She does not want devotion that comes from desperation. She wants devotion that comes from a man who could have anyone but selected her. Become that man, not by pretending, by actually building a life worthy of choosing from. Let me add something that most discussions of attraction ignore entirely. There is a difference between the man who understands these principles intellectually and the man who embodies them naturally. The first creates temporary attraction that eventually fades when his true self emerges. The second creates lasting obsession because there is no mask to slip. He is genuinely the thing he appears to be. The path from understanding to embodiment is not complicated, but it requires honest self-confrontation. You must examine every place where you have been performing confidence rather than possessing it. Every place where you pretend not to care while secretly obsessing. Every place where your apparent strength conceals actual desperation. This examination is uncomfortable. Most men avoid it. They would rather learn techniques than change themselves. They want the results without the transformation. But techniques without transformation create a house built on sand. The first serious storm reveals the unstable foundation. True transformation begins with purpose. What are you building that has nothing to do with women? What would you pursue with total commitment even if no woman ever noticed? When you find this purpose and give yourself to it completely, something shifts in your energy. You are no longer a man seeking validation through female attention. You are a man on a mission who might allow a woman to join him if she adds value. This shift is felt by everyone you encounter. Women sense when a man has a direction versus when he is drifting. They sense when his attention is valuable because it is scarce versus when it is worthless because it is given to anyone who wants it. Your purpose creates the scarcity naturally. Your mission creates the attractive unavailability authentically. Next comes physical mastery. Not because women are shallow, but because your relationship with your own body reflects your relationship with discipline, discomfort, and self-improvement. The man who has sculpted himself through years of consistent effort demonstrates qualities that transfer to every area of life. He can delay gratification. He can embrace discomfort for long-term gain. He can commit to something and see it through. Beyond aesthetics, physical training builds the nervous system regulation that underlies genuine confidence. The man who has pushed through physical challenges does not panic under social pressure. His baseline is calm because he has repeatedly proven to himself that he can handle hard things. This calm is felt by women as safety, not the weak safety of a harmless man, but the powerful safety of a dangerous man who chooses peace. Then comes social proof through genuine achievement. The man who has built something, a business, a reputation, a body of work, a community of people who respect him, does not need to convince women of his value. The proof exists independent of his claims. She can see what others think of him. She can observe how he moves through the world. His status is demonstrated rather than asserted. This does not mean you must be wealthy or famous. It means you must have evidence of competence in some domain. The master craftsman who builds beautiful furniture has status in his realm. The coach who transforms athletes has status in his realm. The artist who creates work that moves people has status in his realm. Find your realm and build mastery. The status follows naturally. Finally comes emotional regulation, the ability to remain centered regardless of what happens around you. This is perhaps the most attractive quality and the rarest. The man who does not react emotionally to every provocation, who maintains equanimity in chaos, who cannot be easily triggered or destabilized, this man is a rock in a world of shifting sand. Women test partly to find this quality. They create emotional turbulence to see if you can handle it. The man who passes remains calm, not through suppression, but through genuine stability. He has done the internal work. He has confronted his shadows. He has developed a relationship with his own emotions that allows him to feel without being controlled by feeling. When you have purpose, physical mastery, demonstrated competence, and emotional regulation, you do not need techniques. The techniques are natural expressions of who you have become. You create tension because you genuinely have other priorities. You maintain mystery because you genuinely have depth she has not yet explored. You pass tests because you genuinely are unshakable. You walk away when necessary because you genuinely have options. This is the path. There are no shortcuts. The man who tries to mimic the outcome without walking the path will always be discovered eventually. But the man who walks the path transforms not just his results with women, but his entire experience of life. Let me leave you with one final principle that ties everything together. The question you should ask yourself is not, how do I make her want me? That question puts her at the center and you in orbit around her. The question is, who must I become to attract the kind of woman I actually want? This reframe changes everything. You are no longer chasing, you are building. You are no longer seeking approval. You are developing qualities worthy of approval. You are no longer hoping she will like you. You are becoming someone genuinely worth liking. The women who are worth having do not want to be tricked into attraction. They want to genuinely admire the man they choose. They want to respect him. They want to feel that their attraction is justified by who he actually is. When you focus on becoming rather than acquiring, you give them what they actually want, and you get what you want as a natural consequence. The 99% will continue wondering why she lost interest, why she chose him, why nothing ever works. They will continue trying techniques without transformation, seeking shortcuts that do not exist, hoping that the right words or the right timing will change their results. But you are no longer among them. You see what they cannot see. You understand what they will never understand. You know that the path leads through genuine self-development, not manipulation. Through becoming, not pretending. Through earning attraction by being attractive rather than engineering it through tricks. She will think about you because you are worth thinking about. She will become obsessed because you are genuinely fascinating. She will choose you because you have made yourself into someone worth choosing. This is your cold awakening.